phenomenal week. Today was a fantastic day in Bitcoin. I'm going to go to the 1 day because we're getting close to the high for the year here. But I'm going to switch 1 day charts because we had this candle wick. So I'm going to go. This is the Coinbase chart. I'm going to go. If I go here, so if I go to Bitfinex, their previous high was 44,488. You know what? Let's go to, oh, I don't know if they do their high. But I'm going to say, I think, 44,500. So other than this candle wick that's bogus on the TradingView Coinbase, 44,500 is a new high for the year. So as of right now on this stream, right this second, we just hit a new high for 2023. So hopefully, for those of you in cryptocurrency, for those of you in Bitcoin, obviously you're getting this move after hours. For those of you in the Bitcoin miners, I mean, we got the move all day long. This was an absolutely spectacular day for the Bitcoin miners. Some super winners on the day. Bitfarms was up 21% on the day. And we'll go dig into some of these charts because, I mean, some of these guys have made moves that are absolutely insane.
Guys, you're not even going to believe this. I have to tell everybody this just in $5,333 in the 10K challenge.
Ooh, wow.
It went up today alone. It went up 15%.
It's almost tripled this year.
Wow, that's awesome, isn't it? Whoa, I did not expect to see that. Wow.
Nice.
Oh,
that's on fire. Oh, George, you're George.
Yeah, I'm back.
Let's go to the 15-minute. I mean, look at this. This was unbelievable today. Right at the end of the day, half an hour before the market closed. This is typically, in these candles right here, this is usually where we get a sell-off in either in Bitcoin or even if Bitcoin's doing its thing, the Bitcoin miners. But I mean, everything into the close was just surging. So all the Bitcoin miners held their ground or went up. And now, just to repeat, this is now for the high for the year. So we could be in the middle of a breakout right here on this stream.
I put a little pressure on it, a little buy pressure on it today. So
did you throw a few, throw your weight around a little bit on it?
Who thought there'd be a little bit of a pullback? Did anybody think there'd be a pullback? I'm in shock there wasn't a bigger pullback. I thought we'd see a little bit more than we did.
I mean, we are crazy overdue, and I know there's some people that are angry at me that I keep saying that. I'm not rooting for a pullback. Obviously, I'm long-term on Bitcoin. I mean, if you look at everything, we had a giant move up, and then it was followed by a move up, and then it was followed by another giant move up, and now this is another giant move up, and I'll show you each one of those on the daily chart.
Oh, my goodness.
What?
Sorry, I don't look at my crypto fund, and my crypto fund's up 6%. I couldn't believe that it's up that much. Sorry.
How's your, did you look at your, well, I won't ask. I'll ask you later if you looked at your account. If you want to let everybody know, because you've kept everybody in the loop on your CleanSpark position. So what's the latest and greatest?
So the latest and greatest is I got out at, what was it? 9:48, like on Wednesday. It went down to, I knew it would go down. I was so pissed because it went down below $8. I said, it went to like, $8.98 or something like that, $8.96. And I tried to pick it up then. I missed it, and I got back at $9.10 or $9.20. So I got that run twice.
So you got
good.
And we're at $10.34 right now.
I'm in shock.
So did you leave your full amount in, or your double down?
Well, you know what is funny is, remember you and I had a conversation. You're like, "What's your exit strategy?" and all that, because Tom coaches me. He's smart.
Can we take a time out, George, and hold that thought? Don't lose your thought. I just want to say thank you, Clive Chang. Thank you so much for the super chat. Clive said, year to date, I am up over $60,000 from mining stock options. This is just the beginning. Congratulations, Clive. That is an awesome move. AG, just gave a super chat and said number one. I guess thank you, AG. Thank you very much. So hopefully a lot of people have a similar story. Let us know your story. Or did you guys have a good week? Did you make money? Sorry, George. Go.
No, you're fine. But here's what's interesting. I said, if I get back to that mortgage amount, I wanted to get out. Well, guess what I did?
All right.
I got back to the mortgage amount.
You did.
Isn't that insane? So that means all my losses are gone
From the beginning.
from the beginning. From the time that we got into this game,
So the
I
entire
sold.
learning curve,
Yes.
everything we ever did right, wrong,
Everything.
etc.
Yep.
The crypto winter.
Yep. It's all gone.
So today, this is a lot of people are tracking towards that day. A lot of people have
Yeah.
had that day. So that's a big day. And I know a lot of our members and subscribers have gotten back to either zero or positive. A lot of people are up big. It depends. Unfortunately, there are some people that I know, and we counted them down. There was 20 weeks, and it was really 16 bad weeks, and then 4 okay weeks where the Bitcoin miners were not behaving at all. So we did a weekend update every single week, counting the weeks. We did a Friday live stream every week, trying to just moral support, I guess you could say. But I know a lot of people hung in there and is paying off. This
Yeah,
was
and just so you know, guys, we've gotten some really great success stories. That is, if you wouldn't mind sharing them with us privately, or if you feel comfortable sharing them with us on stream, that's always great too. But just some unbelievable comments lately in the last few days. It's been nice. But even like AG said, nothing to say, but watching you guys from the beginning and wanted to say thank you. Tom is, a lot more than me is to say thank you, Tom, because I'm going to be honest with you. You brought me through this too.
well. I'm glad. Hey, listen, that's what this community. That's why we did this. That's why we started this. Just what George and I talked about from the beginning. And so I think everybody, having a place to go. And I know a lot of you guys have your list of people that you go to. But this is a small group of people that really, really understand the Bitcoin miners in particular and dare to trade in them or hold them because they are very tough. But it's weeks like this that remind us, and really the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm gonna look at 3 or 4 charts in specific where it's just you can't find you don't see this in this is the reward portion of the risk reward. If everybody could please do us a favor and smash the like button. We're at 62 likes. It's our goal to get to 100 likes, although we need a new goal. We've been getting to 200 likes every week. So our new goal is to get to 200 likes. How do you feel about that, George? Especially
Two. We want
200 more,
300. Come
300
on. Oh my
likes.
goodness.
Let's go,
With
everybody.
all the good news we've had this week,
Smash the like button. Let's get some more people on the stream.
Justin said we're all George. So Tom, I mean, what are you thinking from here on out? Are we into a bull run first of all?
I mean, I have been saying, it's my opinion, we're deep into a bull run. I think we need to look at the 1 day, and there's opposing things here. This price action today is extremely encouraging. So let's see where today's daily candle closes. But we are at, like I said, other than on this one chart where there's an anomaly, there was a 1 second it popped up to a weird number. We're at the all-time high for the year, and just look since this is 2 hours ago. Sorry, this is 1 hour. No, this must be a couple hours ago, right? Yeah, this is a few hours ago. We're up. Bitcoin's up almost 2% in the last couple hours. So that's 2% in the last 3 hours. A lot of the day we were sideways. You can see we jumped up, we pulled back, but at the same time, the Bitcoin miners did not care. Today, the Bitcoin miners were up. We got a jobs report this morning. We'll talk about, took after a very quick digestion by the market, by investors. The market was up. Bitcoin still didn't, you know, Bitcoin wasn't necessarily running, but the Bitcoin miners were running big time, and it just kept going all day. So of the big Bitcoin miners, and then we'll look at some of the little ones because I mean these moves are spectacular. And the thing is, it's not like, you know, today was the breakout. You know, for Bitfarms, Bitfarms already had 100%, more than 100% run up in a short period of time before today. So to have a 21% move up after that, you know, these are giant moves. So the top market cap, the two biggest market caps, Marathon and Riot. Marathon was up over 8%. Riot was up 6.3%. Riot has been lagging Marathon for the last few months, but year to date, they're still almost identical. But there's no doubt in recently Marathon's been outperforming Riot from a stock standpoint, you know, in the last maybe 6 weeks. CleanSpark's now the third largest, and CleanSpark's market cap I'm going to go take a look at because it's going to be a staggering number. They were up almost 12% today at $10.34. This stock was trading with a three handle like a month ago. Maybe it was 6 weeks ago. And, you know, we were getting, you know, the 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 hate was coming in on a handful of these stocks, and
Yes.
and it's funny. The ones that were the most hated are the two that I got the most hate on by far are the two that I'm going to show you their charts right now because I mean it is truly spectacular. This is Bitfarms. So, you know, here's what people were frustrated with, and I get it. Like, if you look at this whole time, I mean, we're sitting here bouncing off just on November 24th. Bitfarms was still hanging out near a dollar. It was like, you know, this is the thing, and George has tried to remind everybody of what we talk about, which is, you know, when these move, they move, they go fast. So all of this consolidation, and we talked big time. They had a gigantic press release update that you know, their entire fleet is getting basically swapped out. They're doubling in size and then tripling. I mean, it was a huge press release. The first thing that happened was they raised $60 million, and that happened here, and this happened. And I will tell you, we were adamant that, you know, obviously I always have to say this is not financial advice, and you know, we're just telling you our thoughts. We also tell you what we do, but I said that
All
day
right.
immediately, I thought that was like the most glaringly obvious buying opportunity maybe that I've ever seen because they had, I'm just going to take a timeout. I wanted to address the super chat. Clive, thank you very much for the super chat. Clive said it's crucial to understand the right timing for taking positions in stocks and to exercise patience. Yeah, patience is the key. And yeah, understanding these stocks and understanding, you know, one of the reasons that I was so adamant about Bitfarms is they had told us in a press release, a monthly press release update, and on their conference call, they told us we're not buying any of the XPs. They took a year off basically from putting any new purchase orders in. They said we're skipping that whole generation. We're going to buy the next generation. So we knew exactly what was coming. And then they raised $60 million. The market panics, sends them all the way back down basically to a dollar. Then they come out and say, oh, we bought a bunch of machines. Well, of course, right? I mean, they already told us that numerous times. So from that announcement until now, Bitfarms is up 155% in what? 2 weeks? In 2 weeks. So this is what the Bitcoin miners are capable of. Now, obviously, you know, a lot of us experience the other side of what they're capable of. And, you know, in the crypto winter, that was brutal. And I get it, but you know, to Clive's comment, you know, exercise patience. That is the key to this game. And do your due diligence and know your stock because I will still say, you know, there's going to be winners and losers. So on certain days like today, you know, almost everything's uh, through the roof and to the moon. But, you know, in the long term, I think there's going to be some that dramatically outperform others. Bitfarms did another important thing. I'm not sure if any other. There's two stocks now that have done this. I have to double check and see if today's run, but I don't think any other. I think the only two stocks. So every single Bitcoin miner hit their high for the year in July. It was almost all on this day, July 14th, either the 13th or the 14th of July. Every single Bitcoin miner of the 19 Bitcoin miners that we follow on this channel hit their high for the year. There are only two Bitcoin miners that have gotten back to that point. You can see Bitfarms was one of them. Yesterday, they closed just underneath that. And then today, they're up 20%. So they just blew away their high for the year. So while Bitcoin is forming a new high for the year as we speak, Bitfarms hit their new high for the year today. And the other one is CleanSpark. So CleanSpark took out their high for the year back on December 1st. So it's only December 8th. That feels like a million years ago, but that was last that was last Friday? That was last Friday. So, this is back-to-back spectacular Friday. So congratulations everybody. Hopefully you guys caught a lot of this. So the same thing, CleanSpark, which was, here, a lot, we were getting a lot of complaints because, look at this run. This was ugly. They were bouncing twice off of, this is $3, around $3.50. So, to bounce off of that in October and then revisit it again in November, a lot of people were furious with CleanSpark. But for those who hung in there from this low, less than 1 month ago, right? This is less than 1 month, 2 days less than 1 month ago. CleanSpark's up 198%. So just under 200% in less than 1 month. I mean, that's a triple, by the way. Up 200% is a triple. So, that's the kind of rewards that we can get in these stocks, and that's why we talk about them and talk about them. And we talk about patience, and I know, I do want. I see so many members, so let me just give a shout out to a few. I see Edmund and Scott and Sourmelon Gaming and Midway and JR and Alexander and Darren FE702, Jay. I'm not going to scroll all the way up. If I missed, hello to all of the members. Special thanks to the members. And thanks to all of the subscribers and all of the viewers. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. We follow Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin miners on this channel. That's pretty much, at this point, almost exclusively what we do here. Right? I mean...
No, I remember, I would say just maybe a month and a half ago, we were talking. Should we talk about other things? No one really seems to believe that this is really going to happen, Tom.
That's exactly true. We were asking, what people are interested in. What else do you want to talk about? Because for us, we didn't lose interest, and I know the members didn't lose interest, and I think you guys know who you are, and I see, even beyond the members, I see an awful lot of names that I recognize that I know have been with the channel for quite some time. Some of you, I think, go all the way back, 3 years. So,
yeah,
thanks for taking the ride with us for, I think about 3 years, right? So,
yeah. Tom, I have two quick questions.
Absolutely.
Number one question. Do you still see, like, the stocks, the big boys, doubling, tripling, or is that pretty much behind us? Or do you think they're just going to go up a little bit, or where do you think we are with that?
That's the perfect question, George, because this is where people are going to have to be patient again, because this was a vicious run. And I'll look at Marathon and Riot. Those are by far the two most popular stocks among institutions and among retail investors. So CleanSpark is catching up, and and I just showed you the run they had, but Marathon, I think Marathon was up about 70% in like the last month, and Riot maybe 50 or 55. So like I said, Marathon's been doing a little bit better than Riot as of recently. These are big run ups, but neither one of those. So I'm going to go to their. I'm going to go to Marathon's chart, and then I'm going to Marathon.
Yeah, I was gonna. That was my second question, Steven. Is Chris Dominator in here? I want to see Chris.
So if I go to Marathon, if we look from October 6th, so that's now 2 months ago. So in the last 2 months, Marathon's up 133%. So that's, more than a double. But the other side of that is, and then we'll look at Riot, and it's similar, but not quite as good. The other side of that is they're still, just under 20% off of their highs from this summer. So I think there's two things that are going to happen. Depending on the price
Whoa.
action of Bitcoin over the weekend, it is entirely possible with Bitcoin and with the miners, since they've had such a massive run up, there could be a little pullback. But I will say once again that with what I've been saying for the last few months, if there's a pullback, there's still some stocks that I would like to add to my position to. So, not financial advice. I try to let you guys know what I do. I would view that as a buying opportunity, and I would not be surprised at all. I think, a lot of these stocks, particularly, I just showed you two charts, CleanSpark and Bitfarms. I mean, that run up is insane. So it would be no surprise. Now, I will say CleanSpark did just, run up and have a little pullback. It was, the blink of an eye. It was a day and a half or something like that. But, I feel like they almost found their footing a little bit. So I don't know. But that's all short-term stuff. So in the short term, we could have some pullbacks after a week like we just had. But, you know, the Bitcoin rally, the Bitcoin bull market is still in the early stages, in my opinion. We're nowhere near what my targets are for the high of this next cycle. Or, if you don't want to call it a cycle, I'll just say, into the halving, after the halving, sometime by the end of 2024, I think we're going to significantly more than take out our all time highs for Bitcoin. We're still nowhere near our all time high. So Georgia, I mean, I think a lot of these stocks, even the big ones like Marathon and Riot, I mean, I think there's a lot of room left to the upside.
So Tom, that brings me into what is really nice about this movement on Bitcoin is if you look at the top 10 crypto, it's the movement is unbelievable. I don't know if you want to bring that up. Look at Cardano up 19%. That was looks like the best today. Solana is up another 7%. XRP is up another 3.38. So this was a whole move into crypto, and I think this is that $500 billion moving into crypto because these numbers are just astronomical when you
Yeah,
look at the top 10.
these you're talking about the 24-hour numbers. So if I go
Yes,
to the
yep, yep.
1 week numbers, I'm looking at Bitcoin up almost 15%, Ethereum 13%. Binance is a different story. XRP's up 9%. Solana's up 21% in the last week. Cardano is up 41% in the last week, 20% today. I will tell you,
And
go ahead.
what's interesting is we're at only a 1.7 trillion market cap, and it's just a matter of time before we can start to get back to the healthy numbers above 2 trillion.
That's right. There's a lot of room left to the upside from a market cap, even just back to where we were. There's a lot of room. I'm wondering. I watched uh Cryptos R Us did an interview, and in it he called out specifically Cardano. So I don't know if that was a coincidence or if he's got enough of a following to cause a bump like this. But 20% in the day, 40% in the week, and his point, I'm going to open this chart, was I think that still needs to 6 or 7x just to get back to its previous all time high. Yeah, I mean, so that's a great example, George. I mean, what a monster move, 40% in 1 week, but this is at 54 cents, and this was at almost $3, right? Just under $3 back in September of 2021. So back November was really the peak for the entire crypto universe, but so just a little bit before. So and I I don't know this as well as you do, so you can give your opinion, but for those of you, I think a lot of you know who I'm talking about. The other George from Cryptos Are Us. I am George.
We're
Uh,
all George.
he felt that in this cycle, Cardano specifically would take out its previous all-time high and have a run from there. So, if you
All right.
believe that, if you think 50 cents is going to turn into $4 or $5, then, that's a potential $5 would be a 10x from here. So I don't know. Like I said, for me, I don't know the answer to that. I'm not the Cardano expert, but to this says $1.65 trillion market cap. So we talked about this about a month ago as well. There was a gigantic YouTuber, and I don't remember his name, and I won't call him out anyway. Who somewhere 500,000 or 1 million subscribers, and he did a gigantic thing, and everybody was running with it. That he was saying this is cryptocurrency is a zero sum game. So you've got money moving between the altcoins and Bitcoin, and to me that was just verifiably false. Even when he said it, you can see the market cap. This market cap has now doubled from the bottom. So
Yeah.
that's not a zero sum game. That's the opposite of
No.
a zero sum game. So there's a lot more room. The market cap has doubled from the lows. It's nowhere near. It's still just a little bit, maybe over half of its all time high. So there's a lot of room left to run. If you think that the crypto universe is going to run, we focus mainly on Bitcoin on this channel, and of course the Bitcoin miners as well. But a lot of these crypto, you don't have to go to the 200th uh, cryptocurrency on this list, to try to find a potential 5x or 10x or more. Obviously, there's tiny coins that do a lot more than that. Let me take a break. I just want to. Darren gave a super chat. Thank you, Darren. Poll: when will CleanSpark pass both Riot and Marathon? Before the halving? After the halving? Never. I own huge bags of all three. By the way, 101K day. Congrats to all. So that is
That's
a
awesome, dude.
spectacular day. That is good news, and that's a good question. So let's take a look at the market caps first.
Congrats, Darren. That's awesome, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good day. That's what we're talking about. I mean, that's what you can do. Now, obviously, and everybody share their success story. And remember, everybody's in a different financial situation. So, you got to look at your own financial picture. If you had a big up day, if your portfolio was up 5% or 8% or 10%, or, for the people who were Bitcoin heavy, it might have even been more than that. So congratulate yourself for your own good day. Not everybody is in the same situation. So enjoy your.
What'd you do?
I got these magnetic things on the wall. And apparently, one of them just lost traction. Oh, okay. So we got Riot.
You're gonna do that poll?
Want to do the poll? So let's do that this way. Let's go like this.
Want to do the? Go ahead.
Go.
If you would be so kind to please hit the like button, we really appreciate it. Trying to get to 200 likes this stream. Do this every Friday at 4:15 to go over the successes or pullbacks. They're going to be hopefully only little in the Bitcoin miners, and then focus a little bit on the cryptocurrencies and what's going on with them, and to see their growth is kind of nice too. I still like my XRP. I'm not changing on that, even though it does look like Solana will overtake them. I mean, I totally
I don't
think
think
Solana.
Solano's. You think Solano's
Oh,
going to overtake them?
absolutely. I'm going to tell you, I won't even tell you the story that I know about Solano. If I would hold on to it, guys, not financial advice, but man, Solano could be my favorite coin right now.
So,
More so than XRP.
Are you going to buy any?
I have tons of it.
Oh, well, there you go. So
Yeah,
I guess the answer to that is yes then. All
yeah.
right. So I'm going to put a poll up. So I went this way with it. Which will have the largest market cap by the end of year 2024? So a year from now. Right now, Marathon's the largest market cap. Riot's the second largest. CleanSpark is catching up. They've basically tripled their market cap in like 6 weeks. Or, somebody else. So those three are
I
very
know where
far
I'm
ahead of
going.
everybody, but you never know, right? We don't. And I'm using, right now, I'm using Yahoo Finance. Their numbers are reasonably accurate for the most part. There are some times that they have some stuff wrong, but so far everything I'm looking at is pretty much in the ballpark. So you can see Marathon is now almost $500,000. I'm sorry, $500 million ahead of Riot. Riot had the largest market cap, I would say, out of the we're 48 weeks into the year, probably 43 or 44 of them. Riot had the largest market cap, but Marathon's just passed them by, and at the moment, picking up steam. But who's really catching up? CleanSpark's at $1.9 billion. CleanSpark's market cap was about, well, I'll show you.
That's insane.
As it just so happens.
Is that accurate, Tom?
Yeah. I mean, I won't vouch to the penny, but that is, within the margin of error, that's accurate. 30 seconds. It takes me a minute to charts up, but I want to pull up a schedule that I think will put things in perspective. I'm going to go back 2 months.
Go back 2 months.
Go here.
Dead
So,
air, Tom. Dead air.
dead air. No dead air. This is October 6th. That is 2 months ago. So if we look at 2 months ago, this is where everybody's market cap is. So the first thing that should jump out of the page at you is every number we just looked at is drastically higher than these numbers from 2 months ago. So, this was right before things took off. But if you look, CleanSpark was $572 million market cap 2 months ago. They're just under $2 billion 2 months later. This is what has happened. So that is a combination of the fact that their stock has took off. We looked at, they're up 190 plus percent. In addition to that, there was stock dilution, so the additional shares of stock times the higher share price. Their market cap is through the roof right now, and we get a lot of people talking about their stock dilution. But I think, for as much as there's a lot of people that complain about it, the market has decided that they feel that money's being put to use in a way that's beneficial to the company and to the shareholders, because CleanSpark is running right now. They're still behind, right? They're still, but there was a time where these were triple or quadruple the market cap, and now it's getting closer and closer. They're not there yet, but oh,
Tom, Tom,
talk about
how
that yet.
where is Hut? What's Hut's market cap? Somebody put in a number that I wasn't sure if that was correct.
Okay, so I said Yahoo Finance is usually correct. Well, the entire internet is pretty much wrong about Hut's market cap, so I will go. Sorry, I keep going to the wrong. I grabbed a bunch of stuff to prep. Okay, so this says $2.2 billion. And if you look around the internet, I've seen some that say 3 billion. I've seen others. Their market cap right now is just under $900 million. So they have about 88 million shares outstanding. So times $10.25, between 88 and 89 million shares outstanding. So, they're somewhere just under a $900 million market cap. So
So, they're going to have a nice little jump then, probably.
in their stock.
Yeah.
Well, that's not if you read the comments section. So for those of you who haven't watched it, I recommend you watch it. I did just interview Sue Ennis from Hut 8. She is their head of investor relations. And we went through, now their merger has gone through. So she was able to talk about a lot of things she wasn't previously able to talk about. They still have a couple of contingencies that, if they happen, I think are going to be huge catalysts for this. I I feel like I disagree with, at least I disagree with my comments section. I don't know, I don't know if they're a fair representation of the marketplace. Hut did have a little bit of a pullback. They ran up a little bit, and then you can see this is, let's go to their 5 day. So, they converted at around where they're at right now. So they're right back to where they started. They had a little run up and everybody was excited, and then it pulled back, and all of a sudden, there was just visceral hate in the comments section. So if you like Hut, or if you're just interested, go check out the video. There's chapters. You don't have to watch the whole thing. I think it's about 40 or 50-minute video, but obviously that you can check out the parts you're interested in. And they have a lot going on. For me, I bought some of this stock. Not financial advice. I'm not telling you guys to buy this. And I can tell from the comments section, at least the people who are leaving comments strongly disagree with me on this one. And I'm okay with that. You guys aren't going to agree with everything I say. And, only time will tell. It's not
So
about,
I was looking at the people that hold the institutions, the big boys,
yes.
and I don't know if the big money's moved in yet, and that's why I'm saying that they might be a good opportunity
You,
for go ahead,
I
because it
just want,
just became a US company.
thank you. I wanted to pick up on that point, and Sue and I talked about this, and I was she was willing to. I'll tell you guys, when I interview these people, and it's I prep for these, and I try to ask them one or two questions that I think have a very small probability of being answered, but I think are important questions. So I take the shot at it, and she did answer that and talk about it. They switched from a Canadian company to a U.S. company, and that
For
opens
one
a,
reason.
well, for I think for three or four reasons. Number one, that
No.
opens a lot of money. So, institutions, they were already traded on the NASDAQ. So it's not like they weren't traded as a US company, but they are now in the US. So that opens them up to a potential candidate for the Russell 2000. So we talked about that. And, getting put into uh, an index, it almost forces institutional adoption. So as a Canadian company traded on the Nasdaq, institutional money was small in this. I think you're spot on, George. I think that that's a big move that's coming, over the next 12 months. Now, it'll depend on whether or not they get into the Russell. It'll depend on their performance. Obviously, it'll depend on the performance of Bitcoin. So, all that stuff has a lot to do with it. But to me, I think that was a big move for them. There's just the institutional money in the US opens a lot of doors, and their stock price is now $10. A lot of institutional money won't look at anything under $5. So, getting to $10. And I also want to clarify something. A lot of people are saying they did a reverse stock split, and without getting too technical, that's not really what happened. And it's important to understand that's not what happened, because effectively they actually doubled the market cap of this company. A reverse stock split does not change the market cap of a company at all. In fact, I often don't understand why people get so worked up about reverse stock splits. It really, it's nothing. It's do you want 10 shares at $1 or one share at $10? They equal the same thing. So I know there's a lot of people that are just strenuously against reverse stock splits. So as a result of the combination, the merger of equals, each company had to take a different number of shares of stock. There was a percent change. Otherwise, they would have had to issue, like a billion shares of stock. So, it functioned. It almost looked like a 5-to-1 reverse stock split, but in a 5-to-1 reverse stock split, the market cap would stay identical. And then obviously, if the stock went up or down, it would move. But in this instance, the market cap doubled as a result of this because it was a merger of equals. So, as a result, they're a much different company. And if you want to know more about exactly how different they are, you can check out my interview with Sue Ennis on the channel that we posted
And
yesterday.
this is another reason why I love this channel, Tom. And this hopefully people will listen to this comment. This is everybody's ideas coming in here. Like for an example, Calvin talked about the fees, about the taxes that Canada have on HUT, that that they have on all miners. And I'm sure you could explain that a little better. But then Barry goes, "Oh, don't forget about stake horsing." I was like, "Yeah, dude." And then
About
don't
what?
forget a staking horse.
Oh, yes.
And then don't forget, there's another thing. He was talking about going shopping with Gemini. I'm telling you, I'm feeling really good about HUD. Feeling really good about HUD.
Yeah, these are some of the things that we go in depth to in the interview. They have the potential to, there was, I'll just say they have a scenario, they have a bid in to end up essentially owning all the assets of Validus, which was the energy company that basically cut them off. They got in a dispute. A lot of people argued whose fault is it. There was a suit, a counter lawsuit. It got settled, and then even investors still were split on who won in the lawsuit. And a lot of people were really down on Hut. But the end of this story is, there's a very good chance, you know, not only are they going to end up ahead, but they might own the entire assets of that whole company. That would be
And,
310 megawatts of energy.
and Calvin says that that bid's supposed to be any day now.
Right.
The results of that's supposed to be any day now.
By the end of the year, they should know the answer to that. And that, if forget everything else that happened, if they can get 310 megawatts of energy, that's massive. So, and there's a bunch of other cattle, and that's why I said some of them are contingent. So we don't know for sure that that's going to happen, but it's one of many things they have going on, and there was a lot of big changes. This was a very complex situation. So
It was a big merger. This could really move. This could really move, Tom. I mean, I didn't know all the things that you guys talked about. I didn't know half of them. I just thought they're a Bitcoin mining company. I didn't know the rest of it.
that's why I did the interview, and I knew like there was like I said in the comments section there was just a lot of negative comments, and everybody's free to have their own opinion. If you feel negatively about this company, then so be it. Uh, but to George's point, I would. There's no harm in watching the video and seeing what's what. And for me, I love what they're doing. I think this was a merger of equals. I think these two companies complemented themselves very nicely, and I think a bigger, better company is coming out of this. And when you look at the market cap, the actual market cap, not the one that's on this screen, which is something in the neighborhood. I'm going to go back to Bitcoin because we don't need to stare at blank screen. So Bitcoin's holding on to a lot of these gains. Uh,
My
something
cat's crying. I gotta let him in.
all right. So, with somewhere around $900 million market cap, that's half of what CleanSpark is. So, and remember, Hut also has 9,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So, they have the second largest total position out of any publicly traded Bitcoin miner. So, this is not a sales pitch for Hut. By all means, please do your own due diligence, make your own decisions. This company is not for everybody. It is not a pure play Bitcoin miner. So I know a lot of people are interested in the pure play Bitcoin miners. They've diversified into some other stuff. So, those are there's a million things you got to weigh, from your own perspective as to what you want out of an investment. But to me, it's one to put on the watch list, and, you guys make your own decision.
Tom, this poll is a runaway.
It's All right, let's call it. Oh, it is a runaway, but I will tell you, I'm a little surprised, not by the winner, but Marathon's 50%. So half of the people that voted think Marathon a year from now, Marathon will have the largest market cap. I think that's probably right. I think that makes sense. Although I'm anything could happen. But what's surprising to me is CleanSpark with 29% is almost twice as many of you think CleanSpark will have the highest market cap than Riot. 15% think Riot. So Riot came in a pretty distant third place,
Yeah,
and
I
that is the
thought Riot.
company that for 90% of the year this year, they were the largest market cap. So they finished in dead last, and then 6% did say other. So, there are some others. Who knows?
Well,
You
what
know,
about Core?
there's Hot Cipher, Core Scientific. There's a few others that have had big market caps that we'll see. That's why I put other on there. We don't know. We're a year away from that. So think about what happened in the last year. A lot can happen and a lot will happen over the course of a year.
Tom, does this change any of your outlook on your Bitcoin that we made weeks ago in your
On
2028 numbers?
my 2028 numbers,
Yeah.
this does not. No, this does not change. This run is a little bit more than I thought. This is a little bit more, a little bit faster than I thought. My end of the year price target was $42,000. We're already past that. We're at 44,568 as I'm talking right now, which after the market closed in the US today, moments after, Bitcoin ran up and hit a new high for the year 2023. So, we're within a few dollars of where it was an hour ago. So we just hit a new high for the year. It's past where I thought we would go. But this does not change my long-term outlook. These runs, we don't know. That's the thing about short-term versus long-term. We don't know when these runs are going to hit. And, we just we'll go to the one day because, I mean, we've had a series of moves up that are just so, we were bouncing off of 25,000 in, August and September. So, this was rough. But really, it was, I think, the next month from the middle of September to the middle of October, we were up a little bit off of our lows, but this was that period of time. This window right here really sucked the life out of investors. I think it got a lot of retail investors out of Bitcoin. I do think institutions gobbled up a lot of our Bitcoin in this period of time. And then look what happened after that. So, that was months of sideways activity. But once we broke out, I mean, this first run up from here to here, that was 27% run up in, what is this? In a couple of weeks, right? Then we were kind of due for a pullback at that point, but that didn't happen. Instead of getting a pullback or some sideways consolidation, which is very common, like areas like this where we just consolidate before it makes a move one way or the other. While nothing was happening, something was happening because we went up another almost 12%. And then there was a lot of consolidation there, and I say a lot, but it wasn't a lot. It was like a couple of weeks. And then after that, now we're up from that line. We're now up another almost 18%. So, like, this is move after move after move. Bitcoin can do this. So, we don't know. We're very overbought from a technical standpoint. But, when we have these types of runs, we don't know where the end of the run is. So, we won't know it's over until it's over. So, let's have that be our next poll. So, the winner is Marathon. But the surprise on this poll to me is that people think CleanSpark, a lot more people think CleanSpark is going to be the largest market cap than Riot. So I know a lot of people are now that Bitfarms and CleanSpark are running, people are getting a little bit impatient regarding Riot. And I have some question marks regarding Riot, but I also have a lot of things that I think they're doing right. And of all the press
Are you
releases that came out,
are you
there's
gonna
what
take that position with Riot or no?
what I
Oh no, sorry, I can't talk about that. Joking. This is a joke, guys. Sorry.
oh, I thought you were talking about a stock position.
No, no, like company working for them.
Yeah. No. I won't be working for any of the Bitcoin miners.
Sorry, go on.
No problem.
Hey, but we got to talk about BTBT because we never talk about them, and I agree.
All
Some
right.
LOH said
All
we
right.
never talk about it, and we never do. And you're right. We need to talk about them this time. Sorry.
If first of all, we will talk about them. If you can smash the like button, it makes a big difference on the live stream in real time. So it is much appreciated. We are sitting at a Bitcoin all-time high. Let's try to have our live stream all-time high, which we are not quite at right now. So if you smash the like button, it would be a big, big help to us. It's free too.
And then
Also,
I'll get Tom to talk about Wolf after that. By the way, guys.
I would like to point out that we do have, and this is going to tie in to what you just said. We have you can become a member of the channel for $5 a month. So we must have the least expensive membership on the internet. So for $5 a month, we do a once a week we do a members only live stream. On that live stream, the members get to pick a stock for me to do a deep dive on. So I do a deep dive video for the members each week, and then we have a Discord for the members only that people get to chat and discuss. So while haven't done a video on Bit Digital or talked about them on the live streams, we did do a deep dive video just last week on Bit Digital. So if you want to know more about Bit Digital, there is a deep dive video for members only where I go through the whole thing from start to finish. If you're interested, that is next to the subscribe button. And also, if you don't feel like becoming a member, so you can become a member for $5. If you don't feel like that, you can also subscribe to the channel if you are not yet subscribed. It is much appreciated. We're a very small channel. That frustrates George big time. So we've been doing this for a long time.
I know, 3 years.
We've been doing this for a long time, and we're still a very, very, very small channel. But it hasn't slowed us down. We do what we do.
But what we did find out as being a small channel, we have the highest net worth individual watching our channel. So if you want to go watch pink ponies flying in the air, we ain't your guys. And then I was going to tell you another thing. This is probably great because for 2 hours of your day, you don't have to think about anything else except how to make money. We don't care about politics. We don't care about what religion you are. We don't care about what anything. Yeah, you can go from there. We just want you guys to make some money.
that's what our goal is, and we try to
Yep.
stay focused. Every once in a while, we might talk about football for a few minutes, but
Yeah.
since I've given
We
up
don't
on
have,
the
but
year,
we don't have a team to really talk about. So nothing to talk about there.
that's right.
Do we got another poll, Tom?
Yes, I'm going to do another poll. Midway, who is a subscriber, said the BTBT deep dive video was great. Recommend that everybody become a member and watch it. Thank you, Midway.
See, there you go, Midway. Thank you.
Much appreciated.
All right,
Did
welcome
you
to
see
Talking
that?
Investing.
LOH.
All right,
We have done that.
AG.
AG.
Welcome to the talk. So we do have a new member, AG. So you can go. You have instant access to the Bit Digital deep dive. Thank you for joining. Thanks for supporting the channel. So we'll just a little bit about Bit Digital. Bit Digital does. I don't know any Bit Digital. Not financial advice. I think a lot of our members do. I know that there's a group of people that really like this company. What I will say about Bit Digital is they're sorry, I just want to
All right,
welcome
welcome to Talking Investing.
another new member. So Marty,
Nice. Welcome, Marty.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the Talkin' Investing Squad. Much appreciated to our 2 new members.
And oh, by the way, when we do Tom does the deep dive, it's any stock in the stock market. And then what we do is we pick four time, and then we vote on them.
That's right. We pick the members recommend stocks, and then we vote on, and then the members vote on which one they want me to do. So lately, with Bitcoin doing its thing and the Bitcoin miners moving, we had a couple of times in a row where it was a Bitcoin mining stock, but we do whatever stock you guys are interested in. And one of the good things is we've done a lot of deep dives on things that, I didn't know a lot about. So I had to go through a learning curve to get the video done. And a lot of, um, you know, we get to share information that way. A lot of our members have experience trading in different uh, sectors of the market. I'm just going to interrupt because AG just gifted 10 Talkin' Investing memberships. So thank you very much, AG. That is very generous. Welcome to you guys can thank AG. And just so that you know, he doesn't get to pick. I'm assuming because it's almost only exclusively men that watch this channel for whatever reason.
Talkin' Investing.
The algorithm picks people. So welcome and congratulations to DEFCON 2, Mark Twain, Cryptorama, B. Hiley, Peter,
welcome to Talkin'
7675,
Investing.
Corey Marshall, Terry Sharp, Scapegoat, Tyler, and Peter. Looks like are the people who
welcome to Talkin' Investing.
And to Anthony, a $20 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. That is very generous of you. Hopefully that means that you had a good week trading. So congratulations.
Welcome to Talkin' Investing.
And feel free to drop a note if you have anything to tell the group.
There's a lot of interesting videos in the members section that will blow your mind.
Welcome
how
to
many
Investing.
have taken off. Did you ever keep track of them, Tom?
I don't have a chart. I have a chart. It's not updated, but yes, we've had some great picks.
Oh,
I do see that Anthony actually did have a comment right before the super chat. So I'm going to read that comment. Thank you again. Much appreciated. The most undervalued Bitcoin miner, penny stock currently with 480 exahash self-mining and another profitable business. Is that INVU? InvestView. I haven't looked at them in welcome
to
can't
Talkin'
tell
Investing.
you, a year and a half since before the crypto winter. And they're not one of the one. They're on my personal list. I have about another 10 Bitcoin miners past the 19, but they're super small. But thank you for bringing that one up because that one really has not crossed my mind in a long time. So I will check that one out.
We got 16 to go, Tom, till we get to 200 likes.
Wow, for real.
Yeah. It's been. I haven't talked much, so they probably like you better. So
I don't think that's true, but
So Tom, BT.
BT. Can I post a new poll first?
Yeah.
And
go
then
ahead.
we'll go
Yeah,
BT.
It's
So
your
we're gonna
show,
end that
Tom.
poll. Let's get to
Corey. Thanks so much for the gift. Best gift. I'm telling you, there are some great deep dives.
All right.
And here's the thing about investing. Start off with $5, $10, $20. You know, if you smoke dope, don't smoke it for a week and get some investment money. That's the whole reason I don't smoke dope, because I'm too cheap.
That's not the reason.
You think Hey, do you think I should invest in Bitfarms next week or Cleanspark? I see that Bitfarm is going up, but I don't know if it's going to be a risk. Well, here's an interesting statement. You do you, first of all. Meaning this is not financial advice. Tom and I picked we picked 4 stocks that were going to do a 10x. And of those, we did this. When did we do this? We did this on 10, 20, and mine was Cleanspark, and at that time it was $4.48. I said it's going to $44.80. Riot was $11.39, $113.90. Marathon was 941 going to 94.10. Tom was almost the same, except he picked this other crazy company called Bitfarms, and it was at $1.17, and he said it will go to 11.70, and that's the reason he is holding it. Not saying you should do it. I'm saying that that's what his decision was to do with his money. One of the things I always say with this channel is your money. Do as much research as you can about that company, that industry, so you don't get suckered into something. Because I know YouTube's been a lot of pump and dumps out there.
That's right. And we don't do that on this channel. We do get accused of that endlessly. But if we're talking about a stock, we're both George and I give our honest opinion. We let you know it is absolutely only our opinion. It's not financial advice. And, everybody has different opinions. I want to take just a second. FV702 is a member. Thanks for being a member. And thank you, $10 super chat. That is very generous. Thank you very much, sir. And FE702 said, six-figure day. So first of all, congratulations. Another member who had a six-figure day.
Isn't that not insane? That's like, what, the third one?
I just want to say there's a bunch of YouTube channels out there that have clubs for when the six-figure club, when your entire portfolio hits six figures. We have members that have six-figure days. So to George's point, we have congratulations to all of our members. We really have a great group, and there's all different levels of experience, but a lot of very patient people, if nothing else. And so he went on to say, six-figure day. Thanks for the mental health or the mental support in the abyss just a few weeks ago. Miners are on a tear and no slowing down. Crazy month coming up. CleanSpark, $15. Options from Tuesday up 60%. Gracias. Well, congratulations on an unbelievably good day. That is awesome. And so you heard it from FV702, not financial advice, but he's got CleanSpark running up to $15.
Isn't that crazy? And I think what's really amazing about our group is that everybody's committed to Bitcoin. And that's the whole fun. If you're not committed, or if you don't believe in Bitcoin, then this probably, is not the best channel for you, because we believe that Bitcoin in the long term is going to be amazing.
Well, that's right. And we spend our time talking about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. And if you're investing in the Bitcoin miners, I mean, in all likelihood, I can't fathom a scenario otherwise. You probably are bullish on Bitcoin in the long term. Otherwise, without Bitcoin doing its thing, the Bitcoin miners can't do their thing. So it's the same one's contingent on the other. I like to say these are a leveraged play on Bitcoin, just so that everybody knows these are a leveraged play on Bitcoin. I've had a lot of people call me out in the comments section saying you're wrong. These aren't a leveraged play. So a lot of things are my opinions on which stocks are good or which stocks are bad, but I will pull up a chart. This is the chart. This is as of 1 week ago. So this chart's a week old and it's already ridiculously wrong. But you can see on this chart, as of last Friday, Bitcoin was up 134% for the year. All these stocks here, right? These are almost double. These get to triple or quadruple. So this is what I'm talking about. These stocks are in the year 2023. These stocks have been, even with 4 months in the middle that were just absolutely brutal. For the Bitcoin miners that we spend our time talking about, they are leveraged. And the leverage works both ways. We've been crystal clear about that as well, because, in a crypto winter, these go down on a leveraged basis versus what Bitcoin does. All of these were down between 91 and 99%, the 19 that I follow, at the bottom of the crypto winter. So they're a leverage play to the downside. They're a leverage play to the upside. And if you don't believe me, these are not my numbers. These are the numbers. This is what these stocks did from January 1st through December 1st. So you can see now, like I've said, also, there's winners and losers. So, if you're in the wrong stocks, unfortunately, stocks like stock ticker NE, Sphere 3D, Mawson, and Stronghold, they were, as of last Friday, they were still in the red for the year. So not sure. I'll update this as I always do every weekend. So I'll put the new chart out this weekend, but you're going to see they were even more of a leveraged play this week than they were, on the average all year. So that's what you're getting. My point of this is a leveraged play on a volatile asset. So unless you have a high level of conviction, you know, this is not for the faint of heart, and it's not for people who don't can't withstand some volatility, because you're gonna get volatility. When you got stocks that move up 21% in one day, that's volatility. This happens to be in the good direction today for Bitfarms, but so enough said.
Tom, what about Wolf? I see a lot of people talking about it.
I gotta give my quick 2 cents on BTBT, and then we'll talk
Okay.
Wolf as well, right? Because I still didn't. And if you guys can smash the like button, I guess we're already over 200. Is that true, George?
I see 199, but I'm
199.
slow. I'm
Well,
slow though.
I don't I can't see that right now.
Oh,
If I expand my
199. Who's gonna be number 200?
oh, we're stuck. We're stuck. We're not at 200.
Now we're at 200. Thanks, guys. Really
All
appreciate
right.
it.
Much
Uh,
appreciated. Yes.
BTBT. Do you know if
Okay.
that lawsuit was ever settled?
The I feel like you're talking about the short report.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I thought there was a lawsuit regarding they were lying about the number of.
It wasn't a there was no necessarily lawsuit. There was a firm that put out a short report saying, this company, and this was a couple of years ago now, but it's they s- at that time all of their machines were located in China. This short report, and I'm blanking on it, but it's a company that does do a lot of short reports. And they said they went as far as to say this company isn't even real. They don't even have any of these machines. They further said management is on the run from the law. I mean, this wasn't just a short report. This was like nothing I've ever seen. So uh, the stock did get destroyed. I actually bought in at the bottom on that one, if you remember, George. And then, I don't even know why, but it quickly recovered. It got down to a ridiculous number, and then it ran from like $1 to $16. This was in the last bull market. So, since then it's gone through the crypto winter. I am not in this stock. And I will tell you, although I don't think that short report was right, the truth is all of those machines, and I'm going to say all, and I'll clarify. I'll say more accurate, maybe the vast majority of those machines. And in the deep dive, I go through this. Most of those machines never did get plugged in ever again. So, when it came time to move them to the
Whatever that
U.S.,
means. Whatever that means, we're not saying. We don't know.
whatever that's worth, whatever it means. Having said that, they have a very strong balance sheet. From balance sheet standpoint, I like that company a lot. They have a very strong balance sheet. They're set to make it through the crypto winter. The price of Bitcoin for Bit Digital doesn't really make much of a difference as it pertains to surviving the crypto winter. And I know it's now 2 weeks later and no one's even thinking about that. But just 2 or 3 weeks ago, that was the number one thing people were worried about. Like, are the Bitcoin miners going to survive?
All right, welcome to
the
Talking Investing.
the halving? Sorry, which is coming up. Okay, timeout. James Ross, who is a member, gifted 5 Talking Investing memberships. So thank you very much, James. That is
All
very
right, welcome to
generous of
Talking
you.
Investing.
And welcome to Christian, Bill, NBF, Real Boss Man, JD. I believe those are the 5. Welcome. Congratulations. And
All right,
James
welcome to
Ross,
Talking
thank you.
Investing.
That is extremely generous of you. I hope you guys enjoy your membership.
So we were talking then about Wolf.
Want to
Or
move
no,
to
you-
Wolf?
All right, welcome to
I was-
I
Talking
want to move to
Investing.
Wolf, and then I want to move to Any too because that's kind of interesting.
Boy. First, let's
I'm
look.
just-
If
All
you
right,
want to
welcome
look,
to Talking Investing.
if you want to look So we just talked about Bit Digital. So I just want to finish that by saying Bit Digital, as of last Friday, was up 375% on the year this year. So, that was pretty close to a 3x leverage on Bitcoin this year. And they're they are not a pure play Bitcoin mining company by any means. In fact, there is a chance that that won't even be the main thing they do a year from now. So that's kind of my teaser for the members only video. But they're moving into a few other things. Uh, they're not discontinuing. They did just buy some Bitcoin miners, but I think they're at 2 exahash. They're a very small Bitcoin miner versus the other companies that have a similar market cap. But their market cap, in my personal opinion, comes from the strength of their balance sheet. That does give them some options, but it does look to me like with those options, they're choosing to maybe diversify at a minimum, if not maybe shift gears. So that's not them saying that. That's kind of my interpretation of a massive, massive press release that they put out regarding a big change they're making to their business. So, which has to do with AI. So I know that, how many companies have talked about, now they're AI adjacent. So, I think that's a contagious at this point. But I think there's some weight behind this one. I think there's something really going on there. Again, I go into it more in the. You can either read the press release yourself or watch the deep dive. So that's Bit Digital. So the next one was Wolf. So you will see that as of last Friday, and I think Wolf did run up this week. So we'll have to see if it passed. Well, we'll go to the chart right now. But it's been on par with Bitcoin. It's been a lagger among Bitcoin miners. It's been one that I've been worried about personally. So, and my concern with TerraWolf, I've been on the record as saying, they have a lot of debt. So, for the companies that have a lot of debt, I do think that the halving presents a potential challenge to those companies. So, take a break because we've got FV702. $20 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. FE702 said, I felt cheap. BTC 160K halving. Whoa. That's taking it. I'll vote for that.
Yeah, wow, that would be crazy.
Run until the end of the year. ETF January 10th. CleanSpark to the moon with my micro strategy. Thanks, guys. We'll talk about these options later. So thank you very much, FV702. Yeah, micro strategy, which I do keep on my watch list, although I don't track it on the chart you're looking at right now. Micro strategy's been on fire. I got in and out of them, but I caught, like, at the time, it was my best trade of the year. That's not true anymore. So, and they continued to run. 301 301st Spartan. All right, I get it now. $50 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. That is extremely appreciated. And 301st Spartan said, "Keep up the good work and keeping it real." Thank you. And we do try to do that. I mean, all right, some of the stuff that I talk about, there's going to be winners and losers. It would be easy to get on here and just pump every stock and, say everything's going to the moon and be a cheerleader. And I do think, I think we'd be a bigger channel and
Oh,
et
yeah.
cetera, et cetera.
We're
But
honest. That was our big problem.
I do think that's a bit, listen, we do what we do. And I have opinions and George has his opinions and
Right.
and a lot of people disagree with him. So,
We got in a lot of fights, guys, during the slow times and what's going to happen and what's going where.
all right.
Can you make my thing smaller, Tom, so they can see the chart?
I can
my
move
face.
the chart so that
Can you move the chart up some so everybody can see? There we go. That's perfect.
All right. Sorry about that, everybody. That is the chart. So thanks again to FV702 and 301st Spartan, very generous, much appreciated, helping our small channel to do
You
its
know,
thing.
you know what? I mean, I know we still got to talk about any, but I was thinking about Hive and what is going on with them. I got
No, I
isn't it
maybe
Frank?
I maybe would people be interested in an interview with Hive? I guess would be the question.
One for yes, two for no.
In the
So anybody
in the chat,
with Frank, right? With Frank,
uh,
or is that other?
might be Iden.
I was just gonna say the other guy, but I didn't say what I wanted to say.
And
Maybe that should be a members only.
well,
That,
if we do an interview, it's got to be for everybody. I'm not going to bring the CEO of
okay.
a company on to just show to a small group of people. So
I
we got to
just
show that
I
to the
just
world.
Ty was yeah. Type in if you guys want to hear a chat for one for yes for interview with Hive and two for no. That'd just probably be the easiest way to do that one.
I know there's a lot of people. Well, I won't say a lot of people. I did get a few comments like, "How come you never talk about Hive anymore? What's going on with Hive?" And I will tell you, they didn't really do much for a considerable amount of time. They did put out a very interesting press release recently, and they are starting to make some changes. So I'm starting to look at them a little bit differently. I was getting a little bit concerned about Hive. But I think, like a lot of these miners, they're starting to make their move here. It seems like the last few months, everybody's starting to make their move. They waited. We had the crypto winter. The price of machines just plummeted. So not only do we have the latest and greatest, much more energy efficient Bitcoin mining ASIC machines that have hit the market, but they're significantly cheaper than they were the last bull run. So the machines that were nowhere near what these machines are, are I don't want to say pennies on the dollar, but they're maybe, one third or one quarter of the price that a lot of people were paying the last time around. So it's changing the math for these companies. And as a result, there's been an awful lot of purchases recently. The question is going to be, can uh, can everybody get their infrastructure in order? Can everybody get these machines delivered in a timely manner? There's really only two. There's more than this, but of all the gigantic purchase orders, there's two main companies that provide those Bitcoin mining machines. So, can those companies keep production line in order for all of the Bitcoin mining companies to receive their machines, get them online, get them up and running in the timeframes they talked about? So we're going to find out a lot. There's an awful lot coming at us in 2024. The purchase orders have been off the charts the last 4 weeks, and Hive has participated in that. They don't have the biggest piece of the puzzle, but they're upgrading their fleet, and that was my giant concern. Their cost per coin was very high. And, if they didn't do something about that, I just didn't see the math on where they were going. But it looks like they've made some big moves to make some changes there. Darren Thomas, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciated. Darren Thomas said 6-figure day. So we have another 6-figure day. Congratulations. This is so rewarding to know that all of you guys who have been struggling and holding on and waiting and dollar cost averaging, and now all of a sudden now you're getting the reward. So I'm so happy for Darren is a member. So that's our third member who's talking about a 6-figure day. Congratulations to all you guys, whether you had a 3-figure day, a 4-figure day, a 5, 6, whatever. If you had a great day, celebrate it, please, because we all waited, and earned this. So, 6-figure day because I sold Iris Energy for CleanSpark after Iris announced their $500 million dilution plans. Selling Iris for CleanSpark netted me a plus $500,000. So
insane,
thankful dude. I found this channel back in May. Well, I am so happy that you found the channel, Darren, and congratulations, because ultimately you're the one who had to pull the trigger and invest your money and make those decisions. And so it paid off. That's a success story. So that is totally awesome. So congratulations.
And that's another thing. When Tom does a deep dive on a stock, I mean, it's like anybody else would be like falling asleep, like this is so boring. But Tom, like that's what he does. He spends hours and hours and hours just looking at stocks. So thank you, Tom.
You're welcome. And I mean, George is right. That's my background is, I do come at this from a little bit of a different angle, and it's good to get different perspectives, right? Everybody comes at this from a different angle. I started my career in public accounting, and so, reading financial statements from cover to cover and quarterlies and 10Ks is something I've always done. I was involved in preparing them back in the day. So for me,
Be- be-
that's
Before you read crypto, I have to tell you something. This just makes me so happy to read, Tom. Crypto Fever.
Crypto Fever. All right. Crypto Fever. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the super chat. Very much appreciated.
Let's go.
Crypto Fever said, congrats, everyone. Requesting permission to be the honorary perma bull of the channel.
Yes,
we stuck to our guns through thick and thin. Volatility times ahead are very bullish. This is only the beginning. Up almost 500K between Riot, Marathon, Cleanspark, Bitcoin, and Solana. So there's another member who's had massive success story. You guys you have no idea. George is going to call me after this stream. You have no idea the joy that this brings to George and myself.
Like, these are happy tears, by the way, because one of the things we say, we know this channel is getting like muted from YouTube. We know why, and this is the reason why, by the way, guys. This is the reason why. It's us versus them. I don't know who them are, but they don't want you to have money. Whoever they are, I'm not saying that, but we're not getting into any other politics. I'm just saying in the investment world, you have hedge fund people that want all the money. I'm not saying anybody's name, but I'm just saying they want the money. They think they deserve it and you don't.
That's one of our mantras on here. They don't want some of the money. They don't want most of the money. They want all the money. Yep. And they want all our money in specific. And, there's all too many times retail investors do get stuck, buying at FOMO. And so they buy high. And then, when panic hits, if you haven't done your due diligence and you don't have this is why we have a community like this. We have a group of people. We have a public Discord. We have a private Discord. People can share ideas and thoughts, and it does help. It does help in that's a part of due diligence, and it's also support. So,
and for the new members, if you do not have your YouTube linked to your Discord, you can't get into the private channel. If you want to, just add me. It's Kudab, C-O-M, Kudab, C-U-D-A-B, C-O-M, Kudab.com. And just add me on Discord and I'll get you in there.
Okay.
So if you link your YouTube to your Discord, you can get into the member chat. And it just says YT member chat.
And I think we have a video in the members section that shows people how to do that. But George, you're saying if they hit you up, you'll get them.
Yep,
you'll get them there. Yep. So yeah, for those of you, if anybody's having trouble, you can do that. This has been this really was a good day and a good week. And
where is Bitcoin, Tom?
All right, so Bitcoin.
Oh man, it came back. I felt 45, but it came back a little bit.
It's hard to believe we're going, man. It's at 44,000, just under 44,400. Within a few dollars of that. So, and 40, it hit. If we look on this chart, and I'll check some others to see if they're a different number, but this hit, wow, $44,755. So just under $45,000 today. This was for those of you new to the channel, or if you've been here, this orange line is where Bitcoin was when the U.S. equity markets closed yesterday. So that helps us measure, what happened from close to close. So if I measure where we were just at yesterday's close, I'm going to go to where we are now. Well, and that happens to be was where we are exactly where we were when the U.S. equity markets closed today. So this was a 2.7% move to the upside, and more importantly, it was a breakout to once again a new high for 2023. We're getting 2 or 3 or 4 of these a week. We just keep moving in the right direction. So as always, I throw in the fact that we could have a pullback at some point. No, we will have a pullback at some point. And some people don't want to hear that, I know. But it's an important part of understanding. If I zoom out, pullbacks are natural and normal, in any stock or any investment. And in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, especially if I'm going to go to the 1 week because it becomes a little more obvious.
We're getting to any, I promise.
So just to let everybody know, this is in the year 2023. In March, we had a 20% pullback. In June, we had a 20% pullback. From July to September, we had a 22% pullback. That's 3 times this year inside of an incredibly bullish year. So from the bottom, Bitcoin bottomed out the week of FTX. It double bottomed. So this candle was the week FTX did its thing. So from the bottom until now, Bitcoin's up 189%. So that's a massive run up from the bottom to the top so far. And this isn't the top. My point is, inside of 190% move, we've had 320% pullback. So please don't everybody. We were just talking about how big money, institutional money, likes to try to take our money. And this is how they did it. In this pullback, they took a lot of people's money. In this pullback, they took a lot of people's money. And then this one, they took a lot of people's money, and then they kept it down for another month and a half and took, everybody else's money. So if there's a pullback, just understand, that is natural and normal part of how this works. So, you guys got to do you. If you have massive profits and you have a stop loss and you want to take your profits, that's a different story, right? If it's a part of your investment plan, that's fine. Do your thing. But if it's panic because, it's pulling back, there's going to be a 20% pullback. Now, there might be a 50% move to the upside before it happens for all I know, because like I said, when Bitcoin runs, you guys see, it runs. I mean, this is, I think, week 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're 8 weeks into green candles. And unless something inconceivable happens between now and Sunday night, it looks like another green candle this week. So that's 8 weeks. And, this is one of the biggest ones out of the 8 weeks. And it's a breakout in that it's another new high for the year. So we are running. We could keep running, but also always be aware, don't panic.
Tom, you got another super chat? Looks like a stud. Stock up with Larry, probably Jones.
I don't. I'm gonna ask this person if this is the real stock up with Larry Jones. Then welcome to the channel. And
all right,
I don't know if this is the real. I'll try and double check. But for those of you who don't know, this is somebody who has a very big channel, and it's I only watch a handful of channels, and this is one of them. So if this is you, you are doing great work. If it's somebody pretending to be you, well then, so be it. And he says, sir, I just came across your page as I am updating my video now, and you are an asset to this community. I would like to have you as a guest on my show. And yes, they don't want this info out there. If this is actually stock up with Larry Jones, I would be thrilled to be on your show. Absolutely. So I don't know. My email is on the YouTube page, so you can absolutely get a hold of me. Again, if it's just somebody spoofing me, well then, either way, thank you for the super chat. It is very much appreciated.
Tom, it has to be him, by the way, because it's his name. They don't, you know what I mean?
You've seen George, you've thought I was talking to you
No,
sometimes.
that's Discord. Okay, Discord's a little different. Come on.
Ross said, "Stock up, sweet. I love your show and love of God."
Much
Yes,
respect. Much
yes,
respect, Larry.
absolutely. So
Look
yeah,
at Larry Jones got me into investing. That's so cool to hear.
that's
That's awesome,
awesome.
dude.
It's a George. This would be your all-time favorite channel. Other than
Well,
ours,
tell
of
me
course.
about it then. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, he's your kind of person. You
Oh,
guys
is
would
he?
get
Okay.
along great, and
Oh,
just a
okay.
good person,
Oh,
in my
good. Well, that's
opinion.
good to hear.
So
It's
yeah,
nice to know that there's good people out in the community. And dude, 238, we're hitting it hard. Yes, Tom,
likes.
it's me. I'm verified. Did you see that?
Oh wow! All right. Well then, absolutely. I'm. That's. I appreciate that, and I will
You see the little
definitely.
check mark? He has a check mark next to his name. That's how we know.
Ah, nice.
I didn't even know that until I see the check mark.
I'm blown away. I'm so glad you found the channel, and like I said, I've been watching. I'm a long time viewer, and I do only watch a handful of channels. So you that this is one of them, and I'm sure a lot of my viewers are familiar with you.
Isn't
So
that a song?
what?
The song?
The Mrs.
Dun, dun.
Jones? Are you
Yeah,
thinking
oh,
about
That's Mrs. Jones. Sorry, Larry.
that? Is different.
It's a different. Okay.
Well,
Wow.
I will pursue that later because absolutely that's I mean, I'm very interested in that and vice versa. Obviously, you're welcome on the show at any time if you do that. And thank you for all of the awesome work that you do and you reach a much bigger audience, which is important. So and shares a lot of the same messages. So that's really great. Thank you very much.
I gotta leave in 6 minutes because
All
I
right.
got a date. LMBO. You know what LMBO mean?
No,
You got to
you're
tell me about any before I go though. That's
okay.
what. Okay.
You want my thoughts on any?
Yeah. I mean, we had a great run up this week. 2 days, just freaking mind blowing activity. I think one day was 80 some percent, right? And then nothing. Matter
Well,
of fact, we lost 1 point.
well, and there was speculation, and I don't know that there was official speculation. There was unofficial speculation that this insane run, maybe they were going to be the first buyout. And I will tell you, somebody in our private Discord, right before moments before this took off, somebody in the private Discord was saying because it was a big green day. This green candle right here, all the Bitcoin miners had a huge green day. This was last Friday. Any started the day red when everything was big time green. So there was some, somebody in the private Discord was saying, it looks like maybe they're going to be the first ones that go under. And then all of a sudden, as soon as we talked about that, it went in the other direction. And, this was a vicious run up, almost 200% in a few days, but it is pulling back. But this is the other thing I would say, like from the stock standpoint, I'm not going to get too, disappointed in a little bit of a pullback off of a run up like that. So some of that might be natural. Now, this was a big up day. So being one of the only red Bitcoin miners, and I'll move my screen a little so you can see it. If I go down a little, you'll see some of the ones that were off the screen. These are the kind of the ones at the bottom of my list are much smaller market caps. Now, Core Scientific's an exception, but they are in chapter 11 coming out soon. So, most of these are nano cap stocks that, the smaller they get, even the more volatile they can be, and obviously the higher risk there is in these stocks. So this is a nano cap stock. So, for that to move up 200%, I think got it to like a $25 million market cap. So, Marathon makes those moves sometimes in 2 or 3 minutes in a day. So, it's all relative, but this was a big move. All right, AG just gifted 5 Talkin' Investing memberships. AG, thank you very much. Everybody's very generous with the memberships today. I appreciate it. Nice to see a lot of potential new members here, and I hope you guys find value in the membership. and check out some of these deep dives, especially recently a couple on the Bitcoin miners.
All right, welcome to Talking Investing.
So this is what happened with their stock. So I'm not too worried that they were red today after this massive run up. But having said that, I have been saying for the
All right,
last
welcome to
The
Talking
month,
Investing.
CEO bought 70K shares the day before the bounce. Maybe she knows something.
so it's always nice to see a CEO buy shares, but to put it
All
in
right, welcome to
perspective,
Talking Investing.
this is that time that cost her $35,000. I'm not dismissing
welcome
that,
to Talking
right?
Investing.
That's a lot of money for a lot of people, but for a
Right,
CEO
right.
of a company, that sounds like a bullish thing, but it's not that big of a move. But I
Right.
think people always do like to see their, putting money into the company out. I'm going to go back to the year to date because to me this is one. I mean, they're in last place on this chart, and I think that there's a reason for that. The market has lost confidence in this company. This actually includes a lot of that run up we just looked at. This got them up to this. Now they had more of that run this week, so this will change. This information is 1 week old, but they're still going to be somewhere around last place on the year. Again, they have a decent balance sheet. They have little to no debt. I think they have no debt or virtually no debt. They have a decent balance sheet, but they're a very very small company. They just the crypto winter, hurt this company, and they had a big change in management. The previous management, I guess if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything.
Don't say anything at all.
Previous management may have made some missteps along the way. Let's just say that they lost investors' confidence, and so this is a company that they've increased their exahash, but they're a very small company, and maybe they're a potential takeover target, and so as an investor, shareholders might win on that. So if they get bought out after the halving, and maybe they can make it through the halving. Some of these companies that I was worried about, if Bitcoin really goes on a big run, then there may be some companies that I thought weren't going to make it that find a way to make it through. So it's Bitcoin dependent. It's the network hash rate continues to grow. The difficulty level continues to grow. I think the difficulty level is going to grow significantly between now and the halving. So I think there's more of that ahead. So, that just makes things harder and harder. And then, so you're going to get higher difficulty level, and then the reward's going to get cut in half. So that really is going to put pressure on some of these very small companies. It's also going to put pressure for the companies who don't have a strong balance sheet. If you have a strong balance sheet and, that moves you a little bit closer to break even for a little while, you're looking ahead 6 months, a year to the peak of the cycle, and you're saying, yeah, good things are ahead. But, if you run out of cash in the middle, then, you can't make it to the finish line. So for me personally, I think the risk outweighs the reward, in my opinion, for any. So, that one's not for me. But again, as always, not financial advice. Do your own due diligence. I'm sure somebody could make counterpoint with me on any one of these companies.
Flow positive right now, Tom?
Any?
Yes.
If they, I can't honestly, I won't answer that off the top of my head because
Okay.
I can't remember, but I will tell you their gross profit margin is, and it's not a function of the fact that it's not a good gross profit margin. It's just that they're so small, they mine so little that even if they're cash flow positive, it's very
$200.
small.
Right, right.
And when the reward gets cut in half, that's going to turn a lot of companies, if they're not kicking off enough to pay their overhead, right? No matter how small of a company you are, you still have to have a base amount of overhead. So if you're not getting those economies of scale by growing your exahash, and if your exahash growth didn't at least keep up with the network, those are the companies that I worry the most about. So, if you're falling further and further behind as the difficulty level goes up because you didn't grow along with the network and you got to go into the halving, that's going to be tough for some companies.
I gotta run, Tom. Thanks everybody,
All right, George,
and
thanks for joining
I'll
us
be
as
in the chat.
always.
I'll be in the chat because I gotta drive 30 minutes. So
Thanks
see you
for
guys.
you got it. Have a good weekend. All right, let me just switch the screen here. So that's it for George. Thank you to George. All right, so let me see. We really didn't get to any of my news that I was going to get to this week, but let me try and pick up on the chat. Bitcoin did pull back a little. We're at $44,300, and draw a new line where we closed on the day today. Reference. I believe this was where we closed. I'll leave that there for now. So plus or minus, that's where we were at the close. This was a massive up day for Bitcoin. I want to go to the 1 day. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because you can see, I mean, we didn't even really take a breather. We had 2 days here. This was Wednesday and Thursday. We did have two red candles after a lot of big green candles in a row. So this was a breakout move. Remember, this line here at just under 38,000 was showing some resistance for a couple of weeks. As soon as we broke out, from the bottom of here to the top of here, this was almost a 20% run up, just like that. So that's a quick move to the upside. This would have been another time where we would expect some sideways consolidation. Now, with this big green candle, we may have, and the day's not over yet. So what I'll be looking for, to me, this would be a breakout. And also remember, there's a candle wick here that's inaccurate. On this particular, on the Coinbase chart, must have been a trade that went through at $45,000, but really, this was the high. So it looks like today we're going to we're set up to close at a new high for the year on 2023. So if we have a daily candle close above our previous high for the year, to me, that would be very bullish. And then once again, we're sitting right where we were last weekend. We got to see what the weekend does. Can it hold that gain and start to, confirm that and then maybe have the next move to the upside? Or, we're still in a pretty close range here. So are we going to start to see a little bit of sideways consolidation somewhere in here? I'm hoping that a lot of you won't be disappointed if we get a little bit of this. That's not a big deal after the monumental move that we've made up. If we can hold these gigantic gains, I think that bodes very well. And let me get rid of this. I mean, I have now, my next line is somewhere over $48,000. I just don't think there's a lot in between, a lot of resistance from a technical standpoint, from a historical standpoint. I don't think there's a lot of resistance between here and 48,000, other than the fact that I think there's a reasonable chance that in the middle, we will have some type of pause or pullback. So if we don't go in a straight line to 48,000, so be it. If there's a little bit of a pullback, there could be a potential buying opportunity from my perspective, but you guys got to decide for yourself. We're only from where we are right now. This is a 9% move to the upside. So, at these higher numbers, $3,000 or $4,000 move isn't as big of a deal. And all of these numbers these price targets sounded ridiculous just, a month ago or a month and a half ago, because all through this period of time right here, and this is really, we had a nice run up at the end of October, but that was to about 34,000. So from the run to 34,000 to 38,000, that was a little bit of a slow and steady run. It was a pretty short period of time, just over a month, about 5 weeks, and the bias was to the upside. So, this was really strong price action. This was the time that I think a lot of people, myself included, expected that maybe we would go retest some support. but that didn't happen. We just kept moving to the upside. So, that was impressive price action. At my point was at these time during this period right here, which was only 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, we were doing polls on our members only live stream and on the weekly live stream like we're having right now. Is Bitcoin going to get to 40,000 by the end of the year? And those polls were getting closer and closer. So there was skepticism about 40,000 by the end of the year. Well, we've run through that. We ran through every potential line of resistance so far, and now all of a sudden we're sitting at 44 talking about maybe getting to 48. And I'm going to end this poll because will Bitcoin hit 48K by December 31st, 2023? And 83% said yes to this. So you can see, I think people are feeling this breakout right now. We just a week ago, we were asking 45,000 was the highest number we even dared to ask. And, that was a pretty close poll. So now, it looks like we're bullish on 48,000 by the end of the year, which we're just, we're 3 weeks away from the end of this year. And by the way, I think there's a really good chance we'll get there. I think there's equal parts chance that we'll have some consolidation or a little bit of a retest in the middle, but whether it's by the end of the year or whether it's in January, I do think the next stop is $48,000. So that's my personal, that's my price target for the short term without putting, December 31st as a exact date on it. And obviously, only time will tell. We don't know. Bitcoin does its own thing. I don't really think anybody had this run, at this time. We were having conversations, about potentially Bitcoin being at 40,000, after this bull cycle. That's how frustrated people were getting, 2 months ago. So there's been a massive, massive reversal. And so I'll take this opportunity again to congratulate everybody. We had a lot of success stories shared so far. If you were not with us earlier, we had a lot of people share some very big success stories trading these stocks or holding these stocks over the course of the last, few weeks or month or two. So you can check the chat. I won't call any out in specific, but a lot of people had some big, big days and weeks. So that's what we've been waiting for. We've been grinding away at this for a long time. So today is a little bit of a celebration, and you never want to celebrate early. But having said that, I think a lot of people have been making the comment that we're still early in the cycle. So I think that. Uh, I think a lot of people think there's a lot of room left ahead, right? We're trading views giving me a problem. Um, right, we're still 4.5 months before the halving. Typically, the peak of the cycle is after the halving, 6 months after the halving, a year after the halving. So we've got potentially a long way to go. So when we look at companies like this, I will tell you today it was I did not sell. I won't say that. I did sell something. So one of the things that I do, I'm mostly a buy and hold investor. I dollar cost average in, but I've always been vocal that I do a little bit of options trading. Um, for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's an opportunity to pick up a few dollars and recognize some gains when you can. Obviously, there's no guarantee with options. If you don't have any experience in options, please, dig in and understand what the situation is and understand how options work before you trade options. I think I do have in the members section, I do have kind of a introduction to options type of a thing, but learn what you're doing because options are even significantly more volatile than trading the stocks themselves. But my point is, in addition to holding the stocks, and that's the vast majority of my portfolio, I do trade some options, and it's for days just like today because I will tell you, I do not intend to sell these stocks for quite some time, but it is really hard on a when you're holding Bitfarms and you're up 21% on the day, you're up, 150% in the last few weeks. There's and if you're taking profits, that's a valid strategy as well. So, I'm not telling you guys what to do. I intend to hold these because, timing the market is not my thing. It's never anything that I've had a lot of success at. So I'm going to buy and hold, but it's very hard to just hold and watch on a day like today. Some people on a day like today feel FOMO and they want to jump in and buy extra. For me on a day like today where, I've had such big movements in one of the stocks, it's harder to hold on to. So one of the things having some options, I had some January options that, were up at this point, around 150%. And so I sold those. So that was my last options. I've now sold all the options that I bought prior to, this little run that Bitcoin has had. So this was it. So the rest of the run, I'm just going to have to grin and bear it. But so I did sell that today, but for me, I held on to everything, and that's the way I do it. And there is no right answer. What we do always try to talk about on here is you should know what your plan is, though. My plan is to dollar cost average, and it's to buy and hold. But there's a lot of different ways to do this. So have an entrance strategy, have an exit strategy, and try to stick to your plan. And believe me, I'm not immune. There are so many days where I do not want to stick to my plan because something this volatile is happening. It makes you want to take action. But, I for me I was able to hold on today, and it was another day. I think I had almost the identical experience last Friday. So I probably gave this same speech on last Friday's live stream because last Friday was a big up day, and it's hard to not take profits on those days. And again, if it's your plan to take profits along the way, then maybe you hit a threshold on the way up. Maybe at certain thresholds, your plan is, I'm going to take profits when I'm up 50% or 100% or whatever the case may be. Or conversely, maybe once you're up a certain amount, you set a stop loss and say, okay, I'm up 150%. If I drop back down to 100%, I'm going to take those profits. That's as much as I'm willing to give up. So those are just two of a million different strategies that you can take. But my point is, hopefully, you guys know for yourselves what your strategy is. Otherwise, that's how you make panic moves. If you don't have a plan, then these big up days or big down days, volatility is how, that's how retail investors really get crushed. So I know a lot of our members have a plan and they've been executing the plan. And so I'm going to wrap it up in a few minutes, but just really want to congratulate everybody, particularly the members and the subscribers that have been uh, with the channel for a long time. And there's so many names that I see in the chat of people that have been here following the channel for a long time. So, I appreciate all you guys being here and taking the journey. And I know the vast majority of you are here because you're investing in the Bitcoin miners. So, probably a lot of you had big days and weeks this week. So, congratulations to everybody. You should pat yourself on the back and you should feel good about your own gains, regardless of what anybody else may have done. Jay is saying, Tom, if it's 48 by January, I am buying you another coffee. All right, I'll take a cup of coffee. I'm a, that's my fuel. I'm a bit of a coffee addict, I will admit. I don't put any cream or sugar or anything. I do the right thing. I used to drink, I'll tell you what, just 10 seconds. I used to have a triple venti mocha at Starbucks. So that was doing about everything about as wrong as you can possibly do it. First of all, I was spending $5-6 and probably now is $7 or $8 on a cup of coffee, which is crazy. Second of all, there was probably 1,000 calories in that thing. So, At one point, I made a decision. I got to stop the madness. It's too much money to be wasting, and it's too much sugar, and it's too many calories. And I switched to just black coffee. That was several, maybe 4 years ago now, and I haven't. And that's the only thing I've had ever since then. So, random a side note, Jay, that will have to be a black cup of coffee for me. Crypto Fever, 6 trillion sat on the sidelines all year and missed the run. I don't think there's much more FUD left to take effect with the market and Bitcoin. Rate cuts are almost here and insane money printing next year. Right. We didn't talk about a lot of that, but that's right. I mean, I think most of us feel pretty confident rate cuts are coming. I'm going to go to, if I can find it. So this is the CME Fed Watch tool, sitting at 98.4%. So the next meeting is coming right up. It's next week. This was at 100%. So I think today's job number might have moved this a tiny little bit. We had a better than expected job number. At this point, I'm taking good news as good news. For a long time, good news was bad news because it meant that the Fed was going to feel like they had more room to raise rates. And so that's how the market was interpreting good news. But at this point, I think it's a done deal. Rate raising, in my opinion, is over. And the market tends to agree with me. 98% chance they're going to do nothing at this meeting. And then if I look at the next meeting, which is January 31st, so this actually did move down. One day ago, there was a 15% built into the futures that the Fed would lower rates at the next meeting. So I think that maybe the jobs report looks like it did spook the market a little bit. And again, it was better than expected. Unemployment went down. We added a few more jobs than were expected. And those are good things. But the one thing that people are always afraid of with that particular good news is that that gives the Fed room to raise rates because the Fed has a dual mandate, and it has to do with, keeping interest rates in check and reaching full employment. So as the job numbers come out, the better they are, the more the Fed can feel like, okay, we've checked that box. We got a lot of room left to do the other thing. So, I wasn't expecting a rate cut in January. That was getting a little optimistic, but this was up to 15% just yesterday, and now it's down to 4%. So let's look at the March meeting, and I'm looking at this together with you. So by March, it did move down, but almost 44% built into the futures that we're going to get a rate cut in the March 2024 meeting. That did move down a little. It was as high as 55% yesterday. That was the peak. So there was a higher probability than not yesterday now. And it looks like the jobs shifted that a little bit. But the further out I go, the more you'll see at some point, almost everybody is expecting one, if not multiple rate cuts in 2024. On top of multiple rate cuts, I think people are expecting, some type of quantitative easing, and that will just put money into the economy and ultimately, usually, typically, that leads to putting, money making its way to the markets, and it's very bullish for the markets and, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin as well. So those are the things that are ahead. So, and that's got nothing to do with the 4-year cycle, right? We're moving into the halving, and subsequent to that, we get to the good part of the 4-year Bitcoin cycle. So, a lot of things I think are lining up. It's why I've been bullish. I remain bullish. I think 2024 is going to be a good year. So, we'll have to wait. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see. Time will tell. Craig, hello, Craig, who is a member. I had a plan today to wake up at 6 a.m. when the market opened and buy more Bitfarms. Ended up waking up at 9:30, looked at the market, saw it was up, so I took myself Outback. Yeah, well, I mean, listen, hopefully you had some already. And that happens a lot of times. That's the thing with the market. You'll After the market at night is a lot of times when we get a chance to regroup and make our plan for tomorrow. And sometimes by the time the market opens, your plan's out the window because, either the stock you wanted to buy ran up or, new information came along. So I can't tell you how many days, I I said, this is what I'm intend to do tomorrow if the opportunity presents itself. But it is important that's actually important because the mistake would be to go chase. If it was your plan to buy at a certain price point and it didn't happen, then just like we were talking about, stick to your plan because more often than not, on any given time, it may work out for you, but, sticking to your plan is always going to lead to a higher level of conviction to holding your stocks. So, Duckman showed up with his hello, Duckman. Stronghold Digital mining to the moon. Duckman is the #1 fan of Stronghold. George and I both like that company. As far as what they're doing, it's not a stock I own, so no opinion on that. But if you don't know Stronghold Mining, it's worth checking out what they do. It's a very interesting company. I'm worried about them, but that's just me. You know, Not financial advice. But I do think one way or the other, they have a lot of infrastructure. It's a company that if they don't make it on their own, I do think they will either be sold as a company or somebody will buy those assets and keep doing what they're doing. So I think that's what I think. That's what I believe. We'll see what happens. Why it's cutting me off. So we're having 44,214. So we've pulled back a little. It's hard to say that, it's a pullback since we're still up big on the day. But after hours, we had a little run up and now, it's running back down for whatever reason. Everybody's put out their monthly operational report, so I will be putting that video out as well, which is, what everybody did during the month. So I just jumped over to marathons. They mined 1,187 Bitcoin in November. So I'll compare and contrast everybody's what they mined for the month to date, year to date, their hodl position, and all that kind of stuff. So there's an awful lot still going on with all the Bitcoin miners. I think there's a lot of good stuff ahead. So, is it next week? I don't know, right? Any given day, any given week, it's hard to know what's what, but I am very bullish. And I guess the main thing I would take away is on days like today, I think we should just enjoy. I hope everybody enjoyed what was probably, and a lot of you mentioned it, a very good week trading for a lot of us. So please enjoy that. And it's nice so many times in Friday afternoon, there's a big sell off. People take profits. They want to take uncertainty off the table going into the weekend, but we didn't get that this week. Not in the Bitcoin miners and not in Bitcoin. So we kind of surged into the close. That was nice. So, again, congratulations to everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the live stream. Special thanks to the members. And welcome to, we had to give maybe added 20 or 30 new members. A lot of membership were gifted by other members. So thanks to all of those. Thanks to all the super chats. I'm going to wrap it up. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Please enjoy your weekend. Thanks again. And for the members, we'll see you in the Tuesday members only live stream. And I did say earlier this week, if we have a breakout day, I will do a special emergency live stream. We did one of those this week. So, if we have a special day, you'll see me then. In the meantime, I'll continue to put out videos and, otherwise you can see me in my videos. And every Friday, you can join us here for our live stream after the U.S. market closes every Friday. So thanks again for joining and have an awesome weekend.